100% co-op by Komaru and Komaru and folks. Good luck and have fun.
Thank you. Hi, I'm plof27.
And I'm Komaru.
We did it!
We didn't switch our names around on accident.
We spent the entire last 2 days nervous that we were going to get each other's names wrong for some reason, but we survived. We beat the hardest boss of the run. We did it. All right. Is there anything we want to say before we start, or should we just start?
We should just start.
Okay, great. So I'm gonna go ahead and count us off. We'll be starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
So already a question is in place. How do you co-op this? Well, we do this with the magic technology of the internet. Ostiohovel, I don't know how it's pronounced, and developed this wonderful application called Multitroid, which allows us to link our Super Nintendos to the internet. And so basically, Plof and I will share everything in the game except like our physical positions. We won't be able to physically high-five each other. But if I get hit, she gets hit. If she gets hit, I get hit. If I pick up an item, she gets that item. If a door gets opened, etc., etc.
Yep.
So
same
we're
with
doing
bosses too. So if one of us kills a boss, then it's dead for both of us, which is very important for the routing.
So this first part here, the trigger is you can shoot. Oh, I messed up. You can shoot Ridley a bunch of times, or you can take a bunch of damage, which somehow I messed up and I didn't get hit by the tail, which does the most amount of damage. And you should be able to see that on Plof's stream, the escape event has been set already, and she can just leave.
Yep. I literally spend the first minute of the run just waiting for our health to go down so that I can immediately leave Sirius Station. The overall goal, of the game, there's 4 bosses you need to kill: Kraid, Phantoon, Dragon, and Ridley. And in 100%, we also need to pick up all the items. So between the two of us, we sort of spread the load. So we have wildly divergent routes going to different parts of the game, picking up something hopefully just in time for the other person to be able to use it, and so on and so forth. Very broadly, for those that are familiar with the map, I'm the Phantoon Ridley player. I basically go run around, pick up power bombs, kill Phantoon, do the wrecked ship, and then I spend the rest of the game just cleaning up items and then killing Ridley. And then Komaru is doing Kraid and then Dragon. So he kills Kraid, does most of Upper Norfair, goes into Meridia, does basically all of Meridia, and Dragon, and then goes and does Tori in the final area of the game and wins.
And yeah, it is an incredible routing challenge. We changed our route up about halfway through as we actually developed more skills doing this. And we're able to do a more efficient one that involves some tricky tricks.
The broad overview of the route, it's very similar to the current 100% world record route, except that it's done by 2 people instead of 1, basically. So we're going to be picking up Ice Beam pretty early, which involves doing some tricky clips in Meridia, and also some other stuff. And Morph Ball. Oh, slightly too early.
Could I ask something really quickly?
Absolutely.
So, what is the most interesting co-op moment y'all have had? As someone else who also does co-op speedrunning, do you have a funny story or something you want to share? All right.
My favorite is definitely, so at some point during the run, Komaru kills Mother Brain and we get the Hyper Beam, which is the big rainbow beam, yay, gay rights. And when he gets the Hyper Beam, I get the Hyper Beam. At one time, I shot a normal shot on the exact same frame that I was given the Hyper Beam, and then my game crashed, and I was just stuck there with no Samus for the entire rest of the run. It was pretty. Apparently, you can fix it though by holding down the select button. We have learned that this can be dealt with. But that was pretty good. I don't know if anything else amazingly silly has happened. Oh, there's also the time that Komaru Kago'd the sand and wasn't able to grab the PUWP tank when he was going through Meridia. So on the fly, we had to work together to route in who could best pick up the PUWP tank without losing any extra time. And so I ended up having to go grab it right at the end of the run, in order to make sure that it got picked up without any backtracking.
One that we've done is we've done a couple randomizers together.
Yes.
And the funny ones are when I do something risky, like go into a heated zone, and then I have to pause the game so we don't die.
Yes, because you only take damage when your game is unpaused, and you don't share pauses. So if one of us is about to die, we just pause the game and then wait for the other person to pick up enough health to make us not die, basically.
Speaking of health, you probably just noticed that I jumped over the E-tank and let Plof take it. And that way, basically, I'm going to be taking I took a bunch of damage from the pirates and walking into the enemies, but Plof coming through later gets the full health pickup.
We got bad pirate RNG, so
and I need
the farm and cargo for
missile.
missiles. Yeah, there we go. Have one.
Thank you. Farming there for health is one of our safety strats because the beginning of the game can be dangerous.
Yes. One of the nice things about 100% is that after a certain point, it becomes basically impossible to die because for runners of this skill, because like you just have so much stuff. Like, you kind of just can't die if you know what you're doing. So the scariest part is actually right at the beginning here when we have not every E-tank in the game and only, like, 2 E-tanks.
And
there's one bit in
end.
particular where I'm going to try very hard to not touch any very high-level, very powerful enemies that will one-shot us if we're not careful. That is by far the scariest bit, but as long as we survive that, we're going to be okay.
Also, it appears my custom Easter egg JavaScript is not working and we're not getting our wonderful messages.
Boo. Sad.
So just imagine up in the top right, wonderful things show up like trans rights and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just imagine that my script worked.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Spent a lot of time coming up with weird, silly things to say. It was actually really fun. So right now in the route, my job is basically just to get gravity suit as fast as humanly possible. This is my entire job, and on the way also pick up power bombs as fast as humanly possible, but that's less important. Because essentially, Komaru, while I'm doing this, Komaru is going to be running around and doing a whole bunch of other stuff, and he needs to have gravity suit before he enters Meridia, or else it's going to be really, really slow. I'm doing red tower now, so Komaru speak while I focus.
And yeah, during that time, basically, I'm going to be picking up a bunch of other items because once gravity suit comes in, basically the responsibility of the run shifts over from Plof to me, and then Plof needs to stop, or Plof doesn't need to be incredibly fast, but then I need to be incredibly fast.
Yeah, so all of my hard stuff is right at the beginning of the run, and then after I pick up gravity, I can basically just chill out. I made it up red tower. It took us a couple tries, but we got there. Those wall jumps can be pretty tricky, especially without high jump boots, especially with all those rippers in the way. So right now I'm picking up power bombs, which Komaru will be needing sometime soonish in Raid's lair. This timing is not super tight, but I do need to be careful to make sure I don't beef red tower too badly.
And we actually have various strats in place for if the other person is going quickly or slowly at different places in the run to prepare for that. But yeah, so I'm going to be basically picking up all of the stuff that I can in Norfair during the time. And if I have extra time, there are some other items that I can pick up if Plof has trouble with the CWJ.
Which is coming up soon. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so the CWJ is a really particular strat. Basically, you have, I forget how many frames, but it's like
two and then one.
2 frames to make a jump, and then 1 frame where when you wall jump, you can wall jump anytime that you are moving away from a wall. And so Plof will be jumping Spazer.
Okay. I'm entering giant side hoppers, by the way.
Okay, well, don't die, because I forgot to pick up floaters.
This is the scariest room in the entire run. It's this room, right here.
I forgot one of our safety strats.
This is the only place where we have ever died. All right, we're fine. Those giant side hoppers do a lot of damage, and if I am not careful, then I will touch one and we will die. But yeah, so CWJ, it lets you enter the wrecked ship without basically any other items, as long as you can get to the moat, which requires power bombs.
And so
it's a very, very tight wall jump. It's a 2-frame window to jump past the pillar, and then a one frame, it is a frame perfect wall jump. And when you do it on that specific frame, you wall jump in such a way that keeps all of your speed, and you can get all the way across in one go. And this is the thing that you do for the efficient routing. and it's hard. And it's basically like the one very difficult trick that I have in the run. At least it's hard for me. New route runners would be like, yeah, CWJ, whatever, but I make good choices with my life and don't run new route. So
normally you can't get this missile that I'm picking up right now because you need power bombs, and in 100% runs it's kind of a pain because you have to decide when to pick it up.
Yo, first try, let's go.
Wow.
Let's go.
Okay, no extra time for me to do stuff.
All right, yeah, I can now mess up every other thing in the run, and I won't feel bad.
Don't worry about the super farm. Actually, you might be just in time for it. Hang on.
I'm probably gonna do it to farm health, actually.
We're at 4, so get that super.
Little known fact, those rippers can be killed with missiles.
We did not know this.
No one knows this. Yeah, it's such a weird fact about Super Metroid. It's the wildest thing.
And you can get a 1 super refill off of that for 2 supers. All right, yeah, I'm doing
which is useful because Komaru needs a lot of supers here to go murder Kraid, and I need a lot of supers here to go get to
Oh my goodness. I practiced this, and I shot early.
Oof. Well, we're gonna have some stand-up DLC. This is a 100% run. We're showing off all of the game. I remembered to pick up the wreck ship Main Street missiles, by the way. I've forgotten that item on a couple occasions. Just for the record, there's basically a 100% chance of us forgetting an item. We've only had like 2 or 3 runs where we've actually remembered to get everything.
Varia.
So, sweet, great. It's somewhat important that we get Varia before Fantoon because otherwise I'll die because I'm just bad.
Fantoon is.
Use this last super.
Fantoon is the hardest boss. I need a super to get out.
You can get one off of the baby Kraid.
Right, Kraid.
Yeah, you get a refill. So for Fantoon, there's a lot of ways that you can murder Fantoon. Very many different ways. And I'm going to be using the Doppler method, which uses the actual IRL Doppler effect to jam more missiles into his face. And I'm going to shut up and focus and let Komaru talk about it.
Yeah, Fantoon is hard. And that's primarily the reason that Plof is oh my goodness, I can't talk and play the game at the same time. That's primarily the reason why Plof. Oh geez, that was a little close.
That was a little close for comfort.
Yeah. I didn't mean to take damage there, and I did. Normally I don't take damage there. I blame having to do commentary, which we did practice doing commentary and doing the run at the same time. But yeah, so Fantoon is really hard, and currently I can't do Doppler strats. I don't know them, so that's why Plof has taken that route.
If it's any consolation, I have failed every Doppler I've gone for so far, because I didn't mash the button good enough. Although I did get 3 right mids in a row, which is just kind of fun from like a RNG standpoint. It is the easiest pattern to get the eye open on, just like for the record.
So
we're
you might have noticed,
round, which is a bit unfortunate, but so it goes.
I did some extra farming.
Is actually fairly tight. You don't want to just like mash crazy fast, because if you do that, you'll like drop your inputs and be a goofus. But we got there. We killed Fantoon. He's dead, and we're in one piece. So that's
perfect timing for high jump.
Ah, sweet.
So yeah, as mentioned before, in this area, supers are usually a really tight resource, which is why you've seen me do a little bit of extra farming to grab some of these red Sova or Nova enemies. I don't actually remember what they're called.
I think they actually have 2 names, depending on whether you believe the book or the code.
And so we managed to get a super off of that, and so we're actually full on supers, which is wonderful.
And this is right about the point where we get to stop worrying about supers nearly so much, because I'm about to pick up 2 super packs in the wrecked ship. So
that's actually a good
roughly
point.
The point where we don't have to care about ammo as much anymore.
So Plof has been going incredibly fast, which means
I've been playing
that
pretty well. My Fantoon fight was a bit of a mess, as was my Red Tower, but otherwise, like, my early game is going quite well. So Komaru is not going to be picking up a bunch of extra items in Upper North Air. Basically.
Right, which would save time towards the end of the game and make Plof's job easier.
Yeah.
I actually get to make Plof's job slightly harder. And don't forget to pick up that item.
What item? Oh,
the
yes.
one in Bubble Mountain. You can't forget now.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a couple items in Bubble Mountain that I usually pick up at the end of the game as part of cleanup, or that I now usually don't, because Komaru would often grab them as part of his early game when, like, if I have trouble with some of my stuff, but I'm playing pretty well, so now I have to remember to not forget those. And the items I need to not forget specifically are the Bubble Mountain Reserve and its missiles, and the dumb missile pack outside of Ice Beam on the way to Crocomire. There's the end of the game.
I just had a controller malfunction.
Oh, blame the controller.
Well, there's no reason that I would want to run and crouch on top of crumble blocks 4 times in a row.
It's true. Here I'm turning off high jump boots because there's some platforms in here that are difficult, that are really difficult to jump on if you have high jump
Speed
boots
booster,
on.
by the way.
Ah, sweet. Just in time to mess up all my platforming.
It should actually make that jump easier.
There's a way you can do that without pausing. There's a really precise bomb jump that you can do, but I never bothered learning it because I didn't feel like it. So
it's
instead we
pretty
just
hard
take
to
the
do.
pauses.
How we good on? We're pretty good on ammo. I'll just do 3 farms.
Our super count is quite healthy right now. Yeah, that's one of the other things that we look at is like if we have good ammo, then Komaru can save time by not farming the gamuts there and other such things.
Or if we're running behind, I can farm up extra because my time doesn't cost as much.
Yeah, exactly. Because right now, like, we kind of think of this idea where the runner that really has to go fast kind of trades between the run. Where, like, right now I'm on the most critical path. Like, I need to get Gravity Suit before Komaru enters Meridia. Like, that is the most important thing to do right now for the run. So any time that we can save for me is typically good, right?
Perfect timing for wave, right?
Yeah. And then right after Gravity Suit, that swaps. All right. I'm doing Attic Spark.
The reason I keep interrupting with items is because I pick up most of the major items, and although they do appear on screen, you tend to ignore what's on screen.
Yeah, you kind of weirdly learn to tune it out.
And so that's why I take the time to interrupt and announce when the items are coming in. And the reason that the timing for wave was funny is because the first time that it saves plof time really is in the room. I got it shortly at like 5-10 seconds after it would have been helpful for her to have.
Yes, in the main tall room in the wrecked ship, there's a set of shot blocks that if you have wave beam, you can shoot all the way through in one, but if you don't have wave beam, you have to shoot slowly. You can do a little ceiling clip there to save time shooting, but I'm so used to having wave beam that I wasn't ready, and so I was just like, panic, shoot all the blocks. So, yeah.
So,
and this is typically a sign that I'm like pretty far ahead from where we normally are, which is why Komaru is now leaving some extra items in Upper Norfair for me to pick up later, when I'm basically just waiting for him to finish doing Turian.
Although it looks like depending on the timing, I might be doing a little bit of Suitless Meridia.
Shoutouts to Sky Bills. This missile pack is called Sky Missiles.
Yo. Do we have time for a couple of quick donations?
Absolutely.
I did want to interrupt. Your commentary is so good, but
feel free to interrupt us all the time. We are very silly people.
I think y'all are great.
Oh,
all right.
Thank you.
We have $10 by Dive that says, great job by all. Thank you very much. $5 from Kai. No comment, but thank you very much for your donation. And then we have $20 from LM Motas, who says, hello, Power Up with Pride. Thank you for the amazing event. This is the best way I've seen to play Super Metroid. So nice, and to see the runners work together on this one. This donation goes to Saving Marin in Link's Awakening. Thank you very much for your donation, Motas. And with that, a quick update here on... I keep wanting to call it Save Kill, but we're saving the animals. Saving the frames are taunting the animals here. And we actually do have a little bit more towards Save the Frames. 1,273 for Save the Animals, for Save the Frames 75. So if you would like to see those frames saved versus the animals, please get those donations in. That'll close right after Mother Brain. So I have to let them know what to do with the animals then. So please get those donations. And so I had meant to ask this for a little while again, and I didn't want to interrupt the commentary, but has there ever been a time you're both playing and then both of you randomly die and it's like, well, wait, oh, dang it, we were both in this pressure situation at the same time? Has that ever happened?
Yes.
Yeah. Gravity.
So you can see I did some Suitless Meridia there to get about 10 blocks up.
It saves literally a few seconds. We're
Yeah.
saving literally seconds right now. But yes, that has happened on a couple occasions. My favorite Multitroid death of all time, which was not actually a death I did with Komaru. Ooh, we do not have a lot of power bombs. My
can
favorite
farm some if
Multitroid
you
death
need.
of all time, by far, was I was doing a rando, and my rando partner was doing Turian and got grabbed by the baby, and then got sent down to 1 HP while I was in the middle of doing the lower North air escape. So I'm like running through acid, dodging key hunters, and then suddenly like we go down to 1 HP, and I stick my toe in the acid, and we both immediately die. And there is a brief and glorious second of, wait a minute, what just happened? Immediately followed by us bursting out into laughter. I'm gonna try to conserve some ammo, by the way, because we don't have a ton of peds.
Yeah,
our
I'm
bomb
gonna
count
farm
is
some
pretty low.
crabs.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say, try to farm a crab or two if you get an
So
opportunity.
I saw the question in chat. How much faster is this versus single player? Generally, like the benchmark for a good 100% single player run is about an hour 30 minutes or below, ranging from like 120 to 140ish, if I remember my times correctly. This takes about an hour or less than an hour.
Yeah. My 100% PB is 129 and some change, and these runs usually take us around 50 minutes, so it's roughly a 30 or so minute speed increase for us too, which is pretty good. Also, yeah, get prepared to lose a ton of health. Oh my god, I missed!
Oh, no.
Get prepared to lose even more health. I'm currently in a section of the game where, while not like necessarily super challenging on the execution, I'm basically going to be burning a ton of health doing shine sparks across the map here to clean up these items in criteria as fast as possible. Oh my god, I'm messing up with my sparks too. So
Marathon luck.
yeah, so I was trying to warn Komaru that we're going to be losing like 300 HP throughout the course of these next couple of rooms. Normally in co-op, it's not actually that big of a deal because we have more health than you would normally have at this point in a regular 100% run. Basically because we're able to pick up Meridia E-tanks while I'm still doing this cleanup stuff. This is going to be a little tight, but we're going to be okay.
Did you get the wrap shot?
Oh yeah, this is the really, really long shine spark, where you just get to go past all of that. Oh god!
Oh
we don't
no!
I thought we had enough.
I'll try not to. Oh my god! Please pause. Please. Pause.
I'm trying. It's fine. This is fine. This is fine.
I'm just gonna wait here and not take the damage from the crab that I normally do.
Yeah, this is fine. All right, that should be enough for me to not die.
Okay.
See, right after this is an E-tank, so it's typically not very stressful. But
Because usually you make
that's
it.
good because I got grabbed by the yapping bot there. This is what happens when you fail a bunch of sparks. And
We need to make sure at some
basically-
point to fill up our reserves for safety for everything else.
For Turian. I can maybe try to do something like that in like Pink Brimstone.
Generally, when you get around to Croc is a good place because there's farms around there.
Yeah.
I'm at Batoon, so I'm going to be using all our supers.
Okay, have fun.
Do we have time for another donation?
Absolutely.
All right, I'm gonna make sure I do my best singing voice for this. We have $50 from Xandra. Xandra, it's so awesome to see you. Xandra says, hi, thank you for the wonderful work. And this is gonna be a surprise here. You had one less donation and now you have one more. Thanks, Xandra. Love you. I'm sorry if I butchered that. Much love, y'all. Much love.
That was absolutely beautiful. That was fantastic.
I love
be
that.
prepared to hear that. I don't know how many more times, but we have a total of 101 of them because the animals also sing it, which we're actually about to be hearing. Well, we're actually, I think, not going to be hearing because I think we're using Komaru's audio. But
We actually haven't calculated who picks up how many items, so I don't actually
yeah, we
know.
never counted because we're too lazy.
So I don't know how many times you're actually going to hear that.
Yeah, it varies slightly from run to run because sometimes, you know, like we mentioned, like we sometimes trade items back and forth depending on how well we're doing. So, all right, I'm not going to accidentally go up the elevator this time. For some reason, in this room, like 3 different times in practice, I accidentally went back up the elevator immediately after landing. It was very funny every single time and not frustrating at all. I assure you.
I'm at Dragon now, by the way. We're
Okay.
actually pretty low on health. And
There's an E-tank. I'm about to pick up Anakin's E-tank, so we'll be fine.
Okay.
First, have some more supers, though. I jumped high over the E-tank. If I had realized earlier, I would have jumped a little bit lower to pick up first, but it's fine. Yeah, this is one of these things where, like, in 100% you have a lot of health, but in 100% co-op, in addition to having a lot of health, you'll also randomly get health refills from your partner. So it's like extra safe to not die.
Oh my goodness, I didn't turn around.
And yeah, and like the other player can often do farms for somebody who's in a tough situation. So if Komaru starts running out of ammo for the Dragon fight or what have you, I can like go try to farm some enemies for him to make the fight go faster. Although,
Nobody look at my screen. This is embarrassing.
Komaru, I just want you to know that this is the best. This is literally your Dragon fight is perfect and it has no problems. It's better than my Dragon fight. I'll say that much. The other
All right, no blue suit, but she's dead.
Something that I like the best about y'all is you're so nice to each other when you play. You compliment each other. I play with Oth and I get like the look from him when something don't go right, you know? So you know what that looks like.
Yeah, the problem is that we're too close of friends. We need to like each other less, and then we can blame each other for our mistakes more. See, this pace is all your fault, Komaru, because, reasons, I guess.
Also,
we actually have supers here. Nice.
It's been a while since we've gotten a PB. I don't know how we did our one run so quickly. That we did get a
PB was like quite good, and we haven't beaten it yet.
And we haven't gotten anywhere near to completing it or to beating it because we would have to do much better, like way early on to break it. And like I don't know, it was just a really good run. So. We're probably expecting that to be our PB for a while. And so messing up really isn't that big of a deal.
Yeah. And even so, like, yeah. Komaru and I often have some pretty good-natured messing with each other. So even if like things go wrong, it doesn't really bother us too much.
Yeah.
For examples of us messing with each other, see our relative tabletop campaign. We are both running tabletop campaigns that the other person is a player in.
So I'm currently playing a character named Dunkus Binglesnout.
And I'm playing a character named Bingus Bongus. We take tabletop very seriously.
One name is better than the next. I'm gonna be honest here. They're both really good. Can I do a couple more quick donations?
Absolutely.
All right, we have $10 from Bighead1 who says, for a great cause, thank you very much. And we have $10 from Shala Kitty who says, speed bun is best bun. Come on, Cornelius. And that is for the next incentive, and I'll talk about that in a little while. So yeah, when I asked about funny moments earlier, there are sometimes, and I don't know if y'all have this on stream or not, but just there's that one moment, just something really funny and outrageous and wild happens, and you just start laughing. Are there any that immediately come to mind as I'm talking about this?
Let's see.
Really, mostly the deaths and the randos. We've done some really dumb things in randos. Yeah. Many times where we've just like we'll be in a bad spot. We'll be with. We'll have some iframes and we'll be at like 14 energy and relying on the other person to get to a location that you can farm health.
Yes.
And the whole thing is just halted for the other person to get somewhere. All right, I gotta focus. I'm gonna be doing a trick called ice clip to spring ball. This is really hard, so I'm gonna focus.
So basically, there's a couple ways to get to spring ball. The intended way is to get grapple beam and break a block, but instead we're doing it by clipping with ice beam. In order to do it, you need to freeze an enemy at precisely the correct height, like it's literally a 1 pixel window, to get the right height. And then you wedge yourself in the gap and you can clip through the ceiling. This is like the one really hard thing that Komaru has to do in the run. Like we each get one. So yeah. Bless RNGs in the chat. The setup is completely consistent except when it isn't.
I somehow have gotten the same pixel twice in a row, which has been the wrong one that I have literally never had happen in practice. So I don't know what's going on with that. All right, that seems right. There we go.
Oh,
yep.
Pretty good. Sweet.
Nice. Made it. Third try.
Now we get to get the best item in the game, Spring Ball, and Spring Ball is spelled with a W. You can't change it.
Okay, well, just so you know, Spring Ball is going to appear on screen, and it is not going to be spelled with a W.
Well,
you will all be able to see
spelled
that.
it wrong. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It's not my fault that he spelled it wrong. Like, also, I did not pick up X-ray because you were done with Spring Bolt at the time I got there.
Okay. X-ray is one of the larger ones, and if I'm doing really, really poorly, Plof can pick it up for me.
Yeah, if I'm very far ahead, then I'll pick up X-ray, which is like, it's like a 1.5 minute differential between the two of us at the end, which is quite a lot. And like one thing to keep in mind, especially when trading items, is that they hit twice. Because in addition, so like supposing I was picking up X-ray, in addition to me getting behind by the amount of time that it takes me to pick up X-ray, Komaru then gets ahead by the same amount of time that it takes him to pick up X-ray, right? So the time difference is like twice the amount of time that it actually takes to go pick up the item, which is something we had to be careful about, because like when we were first trying to figure out what we could trade, we were like, yeah, X-ray, that takes like 45 seconds to do, and it's like, oh wait, no, this had 1.5 minutes of difference as a result. Oh god. So yeah, we have to be careful with that sometimes.
And it gets even more interesting doing the routing. Oh my god, get out of the sand, please.
No,
it gets even more interesting doing the routing because like in the case, let's say Plof was having trouble with CWJ, considering it, it's a frame perfect trick, so it's really hard to do, then I could pick up items, but it doesn't cost double for me to pick up those items.
Right, yeah.
Because my time is pending.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it gets very interesting and complex. So there's not too many variations, but there are enough.
Yeah, there's enough that we can usually balance things out to make sure that we're both ending at roughly the same time, because time ends after the second person gets on the ship. So if either one of us is like particularly far behind, then it hurts. Like it hurts both, obviously. So yeah, we have to be a little bit careful of that. As a result, whoever gets to the ship first saves the animals, typically. Because usually you just have to, like, there's no point in you getting in the ship early, right? You have to just wait. And now Komaru's going to pick up plasma just in time for me to use it to kill Golden Terizo. Also, we got to see the slightly goofy sprite there.
And having it this early does mean that I am actually on pace.
Yep.
With Plof, which is good.
Means that we're good.
Which is good because, there have been runs where things have gone wrong on my end, and Plof will be in the GT fight with fighting it with Spazer, and it just takes forever.
It takes literally 6 times as long to fight GT with Spazer than with Plasma Beam, because Plasma Beam deals 3 times as much damage and it hits twice, whereas Spazer Beam doesn't. So the fight just takes so long without Spazer. It is brutal. But luckily we don't have to deal with that this time. It's luckily not too hard, it just takes forever, because as we will see soon, GT is an extremely well-coded mini-boss with an extremely high-quality AI that definitely doesn't have an exploit that's extremely easy to find. Definitely not.
I also run Super Metroid Redesign, and the designer of Redesign put spikes on the floor that make it impossible to do this setup, and you can still do the setup. And you can still cheese GT. It's great.
The Golden Terizo cheese is the mental break where you don't quite get to take a drink of water, because you do need both hands on the controller, at least with most controller setups. But we stand here, he jumps back against the wall, we run forward, and he never hits us again.
It actually uses a very interesting, not widely known technique where if you're crouching, you can hold both the angle up and angle down button, and you will aim straight up while crouching, which normally if you pressed up, it would make you stand up. So it's really kind of funny.
Hack attack.
Nice. I got the all-important reserve tank, so.
Yep. It's the most important item in the game, dude.
Reserve tanks are regarded as the worst item in the game because, yes, they give you extra capacity.
Show them some respect. They're called trash cans.
They give you an extra 100 health capacity, but they don't come full, and they don't refill your health.
Yes.
And on top of that, if you go and use them, in most cases when they are used not manually, you drain the entire thing even if you don't need it. So if you had 400 in your reserve tanks and you could only heal 100, you will use up all 400 of it. They're really bad.
For anybody curious, this room is called the worst room in the game. We have names for all the rooms, and that room's name is the worst room in the game. And those that saw me getting trolled by worst room in the game understand why it is called the worst room in the game. Although
Yeah.
100% it's not too bad because you have space jump and screw attack, so you can just kind of blast through everything.
I'm glad you remembered those missiles.
Yes. I also didn't fall through the crumble blocks, wasting a minute and a half. There's some blocks that you can fall through, and if you fall, you gotta go all the way around.
It's one of the more insidious items in the game.
Yeah, it's real scary when you're like new to running 100% because you'll get to the item and you're like, all right, don't fall through the blocks, don't fall through the blocks. I lost many an early 100% run to falling through those blocks. It was the worst. We're all right.
So I'm going to pick up X-Ray, which is really interesting because this is going to be one of the few routes of Super Metroid that you'll see someone having X-Ray but not having grapple.
Yes. The only other time where you actually see this, to my knowledge, is the any percent glitched categories where you pick up X-Ray super early because X-Ray is broken, is very badly coded. And in randos where you just tap in to find X-Ray.
So it creates that beautiful gap in the item selection.
Oh yeah.
There we go. Can't select 3 times in a single jump without taking my finger off the jump button. So now at this point, Plof is going to be doing basically the rest of Lower Norfair and then cleaning up all the items in Lower Norfair. I'm going back to the very beginning of the game to clean that up, and then I'll be going to G4 and Mother Brain to completely finish the game up. And that's the general game plan. So most of the items here have already been picked up just to make, oops, I jumped way too far, to make my life easier. And that door I just went through is actually already been opened because Plof laid a power bomb there for me to open that door so I wouldn't have to get that, I wouldn't have to deal with that.
That's like the longest payoff for any co-op strat, is you have one player open the power bomb door, and like 20 minutes later, the other player goes through it without having to power bomb it. It's great. Also, I'm fighting Ridley, so I'm going to be quiet and count shots for a second.
Ridley takes basically exactly 20 charge ice wave plasma shots. So counting it is really important because Ridley doesn't just die when he's dead. When he reaches 0 hit points, he actually has to either fly around a bunch. Oh my god, please let me up. He has to fly around a bunch before deciding to die, or get picked up, or pick up Samus in a certain part of his AI. So the strat is Ridley doesn't die when he's killed. You hit Ridley's 20 times, or 21 if you want to be extra careful, and then you put yourself in a position to get picked up very easily.
Yep. And between hitting the 20th shot and getting picked up, Ridley will meme around for anywhere between like 0 and 15 seconds. There are ways that you can mitigate that by manipulating his patterns in certain ways, as well as you can also jump into his claw at just the right time, and good runners will do that, but it's very tricky. Ridley is one of those fights where there's a ton of intricacy and subtlety going on in Samus's movement and Ridley's various telegraphs that are really difficult to see, even for players that have run this game before, just because the fight is so weirdly technical. So like throughout parts of that fight, I was trying to manipulate good patterns out of him, and I was using my knowledge of the fight to predict where he was going to go so I could effectively shoot him. And I'm not going to claim that I'm an amazing Ridley fighter. I'm okay at fighting Ridley, but even like to get to an okay level with Ridley, you got to learn a whole bunch of his patterns and stuff, and it gets crazy. This game is nuts.
I just goop sparked the charge from the elevator.
F. Gamers, can I get an F in the chat for my friend Komaru? I'm sorry.
Do we have time for a donation real quick?
Yes, we do.
We have $110 from Lilyfen. No comment, but thank you very, very much for your donation. And that brings us up to 7,786, getting very close to that 8K. Let's go for it.
Hell yeah. I know we can get there, everyone. Alright, I'm gonna go for a very silly deboost strat off of this fire plate. I'm probably gonna miss. We got it. Alright, we're gaming. Let's go. So yeah, at this point, basically, we're both just doing some item cleanup, picking up the last couple of items. We've killed all of the important bosses, and then Komaru is going to end up near the surface and go into Turian, and I'm basically going to be running around in Norfair for a little while longer before eventually leaving through Meridia.
I'm just coming up on the final missiles now, which is, it's called the final missiles,
Yeah.
but it's not going to be our final missile pack.
Yes, it's called the 230 missile pack because there's 230 missiles in the game, and that is the 230th one that you get. However, in co-op, there's still like 3 or 4 more missile packs that I have to go grab in various points in the game. I think I could count exactly, but so this is the not so 230 missiles.
And we can actually see it in the Multitroid website gives us a status of all of the items that we have. So then later on, when we see 225 at the end of the game, then we get to panic wondering what item that we missed. And then we will truly make this the 99% run,
Yes.
which is expected.
Man, if only there was somebody here who had a sub emote that was just the 99% text from Super Metroid. That would be such a hilarious joke that would come in handy a lot when we play this game together. If only such an emote existed. The joke is that it's Komaru's sub emote, or one of Komaru's sub emotes. This is the joke.
And I'm at G4, which is the perfect time for me to actually put that in chat. Find it.
Oh, the link thing?
No, the emote.
The 99% emote. Dude, 99% incoming. Normally when I do 100% runs for like charity marathons, I'll make a bet that if I forget an item, I'll donate $100. But given that forgetting an item is so likely to happen on this run, and also because I'm broke right now, I did not make that bet this
What
time.
happens if someone's internet drops out during the run? Well, the same thing that would happen if this were a solo run, considering that this is a marathon, but we would just disconnect. And I actually set up some custom JavaScript on the site that was supposed to be sending wonderful messages, but it also will auto-detect when one of us disconnects, and it will send to my desktop a bunch of really loud noises, so I'll hear it.
Yes, we have strats for this.
And then
yeah, it disconnects. The other person plays on their own, and then when you resync, Multitroid picks one of the 2 players to believe, and then it just picks the whichever items that player has.
and it's usually the person who was left on.
Yes.
I believe.
Yeah, generally.
So.
I think.
But yeah, generally you just want to stop picking up items until the other person connects, because otherwise you'll be missing an item that was picked up or something like that, which has happened before.
If one of us picks up an item while we're disconnected, then it will not show up at the end for either player, because the game will forget that it happened, because it'll get lost in the sync. So we need to be careful. We have gotten a couple 99% runs because somebody disconnected for one of the items and for no other reason.
Just so you know, I am coming up. Thank you for not forgetting those missiles, by the way. I am coming up on the baby. So I don't. Can you do baby skip?
No.
Okay.
I've never tried to do baby skip. I've never
Neither of us can do baby skip, so feel free to take damage. So part of our strats is taking extra damage for baby skip, because baby skip reduces you to 1 health. And this is a part that we could die at, so we're going to communicate and let each other know. So I'm going to get grabbed.
I'm currently
I'm grabbed.
very slightly behind from where we normally are. Normally, I am sort of in the Crocodile fight during this cutscene, but right now I'm just entering it. But one of the nice things about this is that, so I get to one-shot Crocomire. Goodbye, Croco Taco. I'll jump off the chest and Croc Rock.
Are you going to get the E-Tank anytime soon?
Yeah, well, after this cutscene, I will. So there's an E-Tank
I'll
right
get the
after
refill.
Crocomire. So instead, no, skip the refill. So instead of Komaru having to go...
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure. It'll be fine.
Okay.
Instead of Komaru going and getting the energy refill, I can just pick up the E-Tank here and then immediately refill both of us to full and skip that time to go pick the refill. It is slightly scary because we have an entire 1 HP while Komaru is running through a bit of Turian. But as long as you don't die to the Ghidorah, it's fine.
The stream delay betrayed me there.
Yeah, I was like really close. I was in the Croc dying cutscene, so.
Okay. Yeah, so that E-Tank has worked out so perfectly for us so many other times that it just happens to be at the right timing to do that refill that we don't even bother attempting to do baby skip. Just get grabbed, go to 1 health, and take the refill, or take the E-tank.
Oh god, I messed up my strats. It's fine. We got there. Normally you do a slightly different strat in co-op because you have more items, but we're out. Okay, so right now I have 0 supers, which is a bit rough because I need some supers to open some doors.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Forgot.
I can farm some bugs really quickly, and also fire missiles to get us down to the all-important 100 missile count for reasons that will become obvious later.
6. I'm at MB1, by the way.
Yeah, I can see you.
Well, at this point, I think it's safe to say that save has won, so I'm not sure which person does that again, but that will...
Typically me.
Okay.
But it depends on who goes faster.
All right, I'm damaging down for stand-up. We are going to be doing the stand-up glitch, which lets us kill Mother Brain slightly faster, which requires that we very carefully synchronize who takes damage,
Yes,
because you need to be at specific points of health for this to work. Wow,
so
that is the most health I've ever had after the first shot.
We have to be very careful that, basically that I don't take damage or not take damage at a bad time and mess it up, because you can soft lock. There's like 3 or 4 different ways to soft lock doing stand-up glitch, which makes it extremely marathon safe. God dang it, I lost all the supers because of
So yeah, we take this very carefully. Feel free to heal, by the way. So you're good now.
Sweet. I take damage now.
Yes, you can take damage.
Okay. I'm in cosine room. This is the room that we have to be really careful of. That room full of acid there, because it takes me about like 25 damage to run through it, which can mess things up if we're not careful about the health.
So for those unfamiliar, the stand-up glitch is what we're doing now that lets us damage Mother Brain during this cutscene when you're supposed to be lying on the floor while you're getting healed.
Great. And you've already been grabbed by the baby, so I can save the spark here. Sweet. Yeah, so right now Komaru is essentially doing damage to Mother Brain's 3rd phase before it is actually activated, which means that the actual 3rd phase will end up going very, very quickly, and hopefully only have a couple of shots to it.
The baby!
These 2 orange cack attacks are proof that Gear Force knew about co-op because it lets me get 2 supers that I need for the exact
Rainbow
number of
beam
supers
coming
I
in.
need for the escape after we lose all our supers to the Rainbow beam.
Oh my goodness. Mother Brain, please! Mother Brain, what? What was that?
You okay?
Mother Brain just went and decked me. Just was very aggressive, didn't want to back up. But we're fine. And so the escape timer is going to start for both of us. And time will end when both of us...
When I'm on an elevator.
Time will end when both of us reach the end. Do you have any more items left? Yeah, actually you have at least one item.
I have to pick up Meridia Main Street missiles, and that's it. That should be all I have left. So this is the part where we check the multi-trade and see that it says like 220, and then we know that we missed it.
Oh my god.
Did you go for Blue Bomber?
Yeah, and I had it, and then I broke out of it somehow.
It's the worst. Do you want to talk about Blue Bomber, the best strat in the game?
Blue Bomber is my absolute favorite strat, and even though I never get it in runs, I always try it because it's just my favorite strat in the whole game. And you can only do it in runs that you have Spring Ball.
Yeah, you also need high jump boots and speed booster, but you have those in most runs as well.
Yes, and pretty much any run that you have Spring Ball, you have the other items you need for it.
Yes, generally. Although sometimes with randos you get other sets. Also, I checked multi-trade. We got all 230 missiles, so we... Oh my god, I did the wrong thing. I'm so sorry. I meant to tickle the fish, but I instead blew up the fish.
Oh no!
It's fine. Please don't kill me. Whoever keeps the fish, I'm pretty sure it's compensation. I'm gonna get canceled on Twitter for accidentally killing the fish.
So I'm gonna save the animals, because I'm here
yeah,
first.
You're there first.
Yep.
I was gonna say a shame because we don't get to see the really cool animal speedball. We're coming up on time, by the way. This was incredibly fun to do. I'm really glad that we were able to do this at PUWP. I love doing stuff like this. PUWP Super Metroid is so much fun.
Yeah, this was an absolute pleasure.
And it also gave us a whole bunch of excuses to hang out while we practiced for PUWP Super Metroid. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get there second, although we might get there at almost exactly the same time.
I'm on landing, so I'm done. So you oh my goodness, that was incredibly close.
the sync. According to my timer, we got a 4901, which is a PB.
Yeah, according to mine as well. But so
Let's
maybe we
go.
PB in a marathon?
I think we literally just PB'd in a marathon.
And we didn't miss any items, as far as we know.
Yeah, looking at the multi-troid, 230, 50, 50, 400, two full rows, everything's highlighted. And we saved the animals. That's awesome.
And we saved the animals.
I like that part the best.
So, yeah, the marathon incentive actually kind of lies, because in this case, it would not have saved any frames.
It's true. It's true. It would save 0 frames. It loses no frames to save the animals in co-op, because you have to wait for the other person to finish anyway, typically. Sometimes it matters. Sometimes we actually end up getting there at like exactly the same time, even without saving the animals. So, but yeah, that was Super Metroid co-op 100%, showing off the power of friendship in Super Metroid. Thank you so much for having us. This was absolutely wonderful to run. Sky, it was great hanging out with you on the host mic. That was fantastic. I hope you all enjoyed. If you want to pick up Super Metroid, there's all sorts of people that'll help you, blah, 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 blah. If you want to do co-op runs, talk to us, because we have strats. There's like secret bonus meta strats that we normally don't talk about that help you deal with all sorts of different stuff that we just didn't get a chance to talk about. So this was amazingly fun. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah. Once again, thank you.
It was awesome to have y'all. I remember seeing this run for the first time in the submission, and I'm like, this is something that's got to happen. It's someone again who runs co-op games. This was really impressive to see a one-player game get the chance to have a co-op option.
Yeah. We've also done well, Komaru and I have done small pieces of the 2P1C run because we used to live in like the same town. Although 2P1C is a whole different ballgame. So,
Yeah, it's very difficult. We have done 2P1C Shaq Fu, but that's a bit different.
Yeah. Well, in Shaq Fu you spam. Well, no, there actually is tech in Shaq Fu. There is tech now.
If it's not a problem, would you mind if we stayed until the 100% shows up so we could submit this to speedrun.com?
Yeah.
I mean, we're well under estimate, so unless
we
unless
submitted a
Steph
pretty
says otherwise.
generous estimate in case something bad happened, but we're almost through to the end of the credits. We've managed to kill enough time by just talking about random stuff. But yeah. I will mention as a quick shout out, so this route is stolen pretty much entirely from the world record route for 100% co-op, which is, the record is currently held by Kip and Andrew, and I'm fairly certain those were the two that actually put together this this route that we're using. And even if they weren't, shouts to them anyway, because they're cool. And get your Deer Forces ready in chat, because it's coming.
I also would like to encourage everyone to follow plof27 and Komaru, both fantastic runners and deserve a follow and some love.
Aw, thank you.
Thank you.
I stream this game sometimes. Komaru is mostly busy being a filthy heathen and streaming redesign. But there is, I'm gonna do this to you, there is a redeemable points option in Komaru's chat to make him consider not running redesign, and I highly encourage you to spam it constantly.
I'm still going to run redesign, but yay, 100%.
100%. All right, we did it, gamers.
We did it.
Yeah, that was Super Metroid Co-op 100%. I'm plof27.
I'm Komaru.
And that's going to be all from us. Thank you.